Alderman Kennedy.
Here.
Vice Chairwoman Davis.
Present.
Alderman French, Alderman Arnowitz.
Here.
Alderman Carter, Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Chairman Rhodey.
Present.
5 present, we have a quorum.
At the clerk's suggestion, we're going to hold Board Bill number 192. We believe that the Alderwoman did not want that heard. And so we'll take up Board Bill number 209, Alderwoman Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. As you know, Laclede's Landing has been down there for a long, long, long time, and there has been a redevelopment plan in place for a long time as well. What we're doing by the bill before you today is extending the ability of Laclede's Landing Redevelopment Corporation to review proposals for development within that vicinity. And we're not asking for continuation of a developer's rights for fees or anything like that. They just want oversight on what's being proposed there. One of the recent concerns was someone had a contract and they were going to build a comfort inn in the design that you currently see out on the highways down there by Eads Bridge. And so that raised red flags in that we needed to redo this so that there is some control over what would be constructed on the vacant lots down there and how the vacant buildings might be renovated to fit into the scheme of the landscape there. And that's what the gist of the bill is about. Craig Biesterfield is here as the attorney for the landing, and John Clark, who is the business person for the landing, if you have further questions.
Alderman Kennedy, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So they presently don't have these disability?
They are
Extended.
They're extending
extended,
it. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
and this would extend it for another 25 years,
gotcha. Okay.
especially with all the renovations going on at the Arch Grounds. Hopefully, this will be a key place, and it's important to protect its integrity historically.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Davis? Alderman French is not present. Alderman Arnowitz? Carter is not present. Alderwoman Tyus?
I have a question that has to do with, and a lot of us probably have this in some of the old development things, with the recent Supreme Court rulings, and not a couple of years ago about eminent domain. How does that affect our development plans now? Because even though we have them in there, they're not legal anymore. So how is that going to work? Because if anybody takes them to court, we're going to lose.
Thank you. My name is Craig Biesterfeld. I'm the attorney for Laclede's Landing. I think the Board of Aldermen anticipated that 20, 25 years ago. They put time deadlines in the Laclede's Landing plan for when eminent domain had to be exercised, and those expired 15 years ago. And we have language in this bill that expressly says that we're not extending any time periods for tax abatement, eminent domain, or anything
Right.
like that.
Okay, so the eminent domain has expired.
That's correct.
But I guess for a bigger question for some other time is that what do we do with the ones that we passed years ago that have eminent domain in them if we haven't used it and we still have that ability? And I know we have a clause in there that says if anything is found illegal, that the rest of the ordinance is still legal. So I understand that part, but what if it's something so integral to obtaining property, then what we do? That's, I guess, and I can speak to you later about that if you don't mind. Okay, thank you. And I had one other question here. So the original Laclede's development plan for Laclede's Landing started in July of '75, and then I guess it was, I'm looking here at the dates here, July 11th, '75, and then it was amended in December of '75, and we're amending the amendment. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, it's actually been amended 5 times
Since then, okay.
prior I think in 75, when it was first being considered, there were some changes that were requested by the board, and so those amendments were made at the time it was originally adopted. I think it was originally adopted in September of 75.
Okay, and I just want to make a statement. I don't have any problem with this bill. I do have problems with the language that directs elected officials to do things. I think we should just be using authorized. So I'm going to vote no, but not really against the bill. I'm voting no against the language, and I've been doing that in transportation and commerce too, because I support the bill, but I do not like the language. We've had some problems early on with two different elected officials having a different idea of what went on, and I think if we just authorize elected officials, that then if there's a problem, we don't get into, well, the Board of Aldermen directs you, because I don't think we have the authority to direct the mayor or the comptroller. So, but I'm not in opposition to the bill itself. Thank you.
And I just want to make sure I'm understanding. This was originally, I guess, a 353, is that right, back in 75? And then we bestowed the 353 powers on the Laclede Landing Redevelopment Corporation, who then granted tax abatement. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I understand this. So we granted 353 authority to Laclede's Landing Redevelopment Corporation back in 75, and they in turn have rights to grant, is it 10-year tax abatement or 25-year or what?
It was originally 25 years.
Okay.
And that's all expired. The original plan had deadlines for tax abatement to begin, and that along with
That's
the
all
eminent
gone.
domain authorities
Okay,
has
and then
expired.
I guess in exchange for the tax abatement, you were able to access some fees
Be collected, yes.
for the development corporation.
And now if anybody
gone.
develops anything down there that needs tax abatement or TIF or something like that, they have to independently request that from SLDC.
From the
and
alderperson
get it.
or from SLDC. And then so this, and again, I handle all this stuff myself, and I for my own ward, and I get lost in the details sometimes. So what this is doing, I guess, is preserving your right to grant, I guess, parcel development agreements or something for the actual design then?
Yeah, and for, compliance with the Laclede's Landing Development Plan, the design guidelines and that kind of stuff. And I mean, Laclede's Landing has really sort of evolved into, a neighborhood association. It consists of property owners and business owners and stuff down there. And this gives us the ability, when somebody is proposing a use that would be harmful to the neighborhood, to say, no, that's not consistent with the development plan in Laclede's Landing, and vote against it. And we've got recorded restrictions on title that require approval from the Laclede's Landing organization for approval of development plans.
Do you all have a community improvement district or special taxing district or
We do.
anything? Okay,
We do.
and are those boards overlapping? Are they concentric or?
We we have separate elections, separate appointments of directors, but they do meet
They
as one
coordinate.
group, and they tend to be the same people. They're different numbers on the redevelopment corporation versus the SID board, but it's primarily business owners and property owners.
And the control of the 353 rests with an entity, usually Laclede's Landing Redevelopment Corporation, is that it then? And
Yes,
and,
yes.
And they
It's a
have-
353 Urban Redevelopment Corporation, so it's got a board of directors, it's got shareholders that are property owners down in the neighborhood, and we have an annual shareholders meeting, annual elections.
Okay, and so I presume I know years ago, they used to have problems keeping those in compliance. They'd grant it to somebody, and then, it would be a non-institutional entity that would, would never expire, and, we'd end up with situations where people held rights and, hadn't done anything. But does this have an expiration date in it or anything?
Well, that's actually, the development plan does, and that's what we're actually asking be extended
Okay.
with this bill.
And it's
But
being
the
extended-
corporation
oh, for
itself, I
another
think, is
25
probably
years.
perpetual,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I just need to try to better understand that stuff. Alderman French has come in since we had our initial round of questions. Alderman?
No questions.
There's no questions. Hearing no questions, the chair will entertain a motion that we pass out of committee Board Bill number 209.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Kennedy.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Davis.
Aye.
Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Arnowitz.
Aye.
Alderman Carter. Alderwoman Tyus.
No.
Chairman Rhodey.
Aye.
5 aye vote, 1 no vote. Board Bill 209 comes out with a do pass recommendation.
And I am a terrible chair. I always forget to look at this. I forgot to offer Mr. Clark an opportunity to speak. Did you speak, you're going to speak in favor of it, so I presume you're okay, but I always forget to look at my sheet.
I'm good.
All right. Yeah, I guess that's it. Meeting adjourned at